Good morning, YouTube. Today's a rant. I may not look like I'm ready to rant, but I am. And it's about Dish Network. Maybe many of y'all have Dish Network as your cable provider. I want y'all to listen to this story and listen well because it taught me a big lesson on customer service and also on how great and amazing my God is. Okay, so I got a new phone and I don't know where exactly the camera is on the iPhone 11, so I may be looking in all different kinds of places because I don't know where the camera is. So this morning, I'll start last night. Last night I was being a fat ass on the couch and I was eating these great barbecue ribs that I made yesterday, and like the bowl that I had it in had a lot of sauce in it. So I was watching Love and Hip Hop New York. I dropped the remote in the barbecue sauce, and at that moment I knew that my remote was over with. Like I was gonna have to get another one. So like an hour or so later, the remote was working again, and I was like, it's probably just sticky in there, so it's confused. But I was for sure in the morning it wasn't gonna work. So what happens? I woke up, tried to put on cartoons for Zoe, and the remote wasn't working. Paw. The remote wasn't working. So I jump on the customer service number. They have been really good to us in the past. We've been loyal members of Dish Network for over 5 years. So I just knew that there was something that they were going to be able to do to assist me with this remote control problem, because it's super inconvenient to have to use the hopper box to change channel and fast forward and record, and it's too much. Like I need to be able to sit on my couch and control what's going on. Hold on, y'all. To be able to control what's going on. So I call customer service and a woman picks up the phone after I waited 5 minutes to speak with somebody. A woman picks up the phone. She's a normal representative. I explained to her my issue. She's looking in the computer to see if there's anything she can do for me. By the end of the 3 minutes of me talking to her, she pretty much told me that there's nothing that she can do for me. I can purchase an additional remote for like $30, plus shipping and handling. Or she can refer me to a local distributor to where I can purchase a remote and they will set up the remote over the phone with technical support. Neither one of those options was I interested in. With being y'all know how much cable is. Y'all know how much cable is these days. I don't want to have to pay an additional for anything. I feel like after being a loyal customer for 5 years, y'all should be sending us free remotes for Christmas. I mean, do you know how much cable is? Our bill is like $160 a month. Times 12 times 5, like that's a lot of money. And I can't even get a free remote. So I asked her, what my husband taught me to do is always speak with the supervisor. Sometimes don't even speak with the normal representative. Just jump to the supervisor, because the representative ain't gonna do shit for you but tell you they can't help you. So I asked to speak with the representative. She transferred me. The freaking supervisor on that call was so lackluster, monotone, and like probably had a fight with her husband this morning. And from the moment I was transferred to her, I explained the situation to her. I explained how much money we've paid this company. I explained to her around the holidays, we don't have extra $30-something to throw away on a fucking remote, which we technically could, but I don't feel like we should have to. You know what I mean? Like, this is the only time that we've called y'all with a problem. This is the only time that we've lost a remote or broken a remote or anything with our account. And as a loyal customer, you're going to tell me that there's nothing that you can do for me? And I mean, it got me so upset because I had such a positive like approach to the situation. Like I felt like they were going to help me, you know? And they were just like, no, there's absolutely nothing that we can do. You have to either purchase it off the website. There's no way around it. That's what the supervisor kept saying. Because I was getting upset. Like by the end of the phone call, I was in tears. And she just kept repeating, like, there's absolutely no way around that. And I knew, because I used to work in customer service, I've had a job before. I want to call her the B word, but I'm not. I know there's always something that you can do. There's always something that you can do. Like, always. So I ended up hanging up on her. And right after I hung up with her, my husband calls me. And I'm his... Paw, you gonna... That's my dog, y'all. He wants some attention. Paw, he wants some attention. Paw. So as soon as I hang up the phone on the terrible supervisor, my husband calls me, like, right after I hang up the phone. And I'm hysterically crying at this point. Like, I can't even control it because I was just so extremely disappointed in the way that they treated me. And I had already had, like, an underlying thing, like, that customer service treat women on the phone differently than they treat men. Y'all, it's early in the morning. I look a hot mess, but they treat women differently than they treat men, especially over the phone. I mean, in person too, but it's like when they hear a woman's voice over the phone, they know that they've been to take advantage of her. So I usually try to come off really stern and, like, straight to the point, no bullshit, no small talk. But I mean, sometimes, you know, you don't want to always have to put it up a front. Like, you want them to just treat you like a normal freaking person. So my husband's like, what's wrong? And I'm telling him, like, they treated me like shit. I broke the remote. I can't fast forward. I was, like, so distraught. And he's laughing, but he's like, okay, baby, calm down. He's like, call them on three-way. Then he automatically gets pissed off and he's like, call them on three-way. Put them on the phone right now. And I was like, okay. So I called. We had to wait so long now. This time, first time I got through right away, but this time I had to wait, like, we had to wait like 5 minutes. So she gets on the phone and he explains to the representative what happened. I have it on mute. So this time it's just him talking to them, right? So a guy answers the phone. So now he's dealing with males, right? So it's just like a turn of events, okay? So the guy transfers him to the supervisor. The supervisor is also a guy. The supervisor is also very lackluster, like off the rip. He's very, like, calm, monotone, like the same, like with the other supervisor. So, like, as soon as my husband starts talking to him, he automatically warms up, like automatically just warms up. And it's just so different. Like, the vibe was just different. So the vibe was just different, right? So they end up, Jason explains what's going on. Like, my kids messed up the remote. Like, I don't know what happened. They spilled milk on it or something. And the guy's like, okay, Mr. Jones, let me see what I can help you with. Like, his attitude was just, like, happy all of a sudden. So then he's like, okay, Mr. Jones, I'm going to go ahead. And by the way, my husband is telling them exactly the same thing that I told the two ladies. But for some reason, it's resonating with this guy, right? So he's like, we're going to go ahead and take care of this. And I'm on mute on the other line, just listening, like waiting for him to tell him no too, just to, like, break down again over a remote, right? It's crazy. So he's like, okay, Mr. Jones, we're going to go ahead and ship you out a brand new remote control. My husband's like, how much am I going to have to pay for it? He's like, oh, nothing, free of charge. I'm on the phone like, I couldn't believe it. Free of charge. And so my husband's like, okay, great. That's awesome. Thank you so much. And then he's like, you know, just small talk about Christmas and how men get shitty Christmas gifts. And they were, like, talking for like 15 minutes. And I'm on the phone, like, getting more and more mad, like, as time goes on. Because I'm like, why didn't this other supervisor have the same set of skills that this one had? I even told her by the end of our phone call, like, maybe in y'all's next meeting, like, you need to have a meeting about how to handle customers in a better way, especially loyal customers that you've made over $8,000 off of. Like, y'all need some training. She's like, I'll be sure to bring that up in our next meeting. Yeah, all right, bitch. Oh, I was so mad. I told her, I was like, so y'all, because I asked her, is there any way for you to just send me out a new remote and then put the fee, the $30-something fee for the remote on my next bill? because we have expenses right now. Like, I don't have extra $30 to give you for a remote. Sorry, I'd rather spend that on something else. So you just put it on my next bill. I'm gonna pay for it anyways. She's like, there's absolutely nothing that we can do. You have to pay up front. So fast forward to this conversation my husband is having with them, not even 15 minutes later, not even 10 minutes later. He gives us a free remote with 1 to 2 day expedited shipping. He asked my husband if there's anything else that he can do. So he upgrades our package, okay? We were behind like a month. I don't know how we ended up getting past due, but we had like a remaining balance, and he deleted the remaining balance, gave us a free remote with expedited shipping, added movie channels, switched our plan, upgraded our plan so that we're spending less for what we have. It was just amazing. So when they hung up the phone, automatically in my mind, I'm like, look at God. It just like restored my faith automatically. I'm like, the Lord knew that my situation with them was ugly and not right, and that they treated me very poorly. And he knew the emotional state that I was in, like after the call, that my husband called me not even 2 seconds after I got off the phone with them. The Lord said something to my husband, right? He saw what I was going through. Then the Lord said something to my husband, right? And then my husband calls me. And then my husband and me called Dish. And then Dish gives us everything that we want plus more. I was just like, baby, God did that for us. Like, God did that. He did that, okay? I just couldn't believe it. Like, I was just like, wow, he does hear everything. He does see everything. You think that you're just like this one small, tiny speck on earth, and that he doesn't see you or hear what you're going through or feel the pain that you feel. Oh my gosh, let me tell you, this small little situation that just started from a broken remote has now restored my faith in God on like a whole nother level. Like, I know he's here, because that, like, how do you go through them telling you no, that there's no possible way in the world that they can add a remote control payment to your next bill? They told me there was no way. And then my husband calls, and God shed favor on him, and they gave us what they said they wouldn't. Like, that's why I don't understand how people don't believe in God. Like, he's there. All the things that work out for you in a positive way, it's the Lord. I'm so happy right now. I just wanted to share that with y'all. It was a rant on Dish Network's customer service, because I'm not going to say they suck, because this guy, I wish I remembered his name. I want to say it was Matt. He was great, but they need to have a meeting, like I told her. And you guys need to talk about your customer service skills in supervision, because it's not up to par. I'll get one asshole and one genius. Like, no, all y'all need to be geniuses. You all need to be on the same accord, okay? But this was also to show everybody that the Lord is real. He hears you. Even your smallest needs. That was a small need of mine. You know what I mean? That wasn't something necessary or life-changing. But he saw that we deserved it. So he gave it to us for free. Call on your God. Rely on your God. Stay faithful in him, and he will give you favor.